Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. So, it's that time again. It is Brighter Living Live with your host, Steve.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Twitter, and all those other social media platforms. It's a beautiful day. Hey, it's not raining. It's not snowing, so it's a beautiful day. And my guest will be getting back. I think this is going to be part 2 with Randy Barr. Randy, thank you for joining me again this morning. And we just. Oh, okay. I thought somebody else said something. Matt, so glad to see you. And I guess we've. Are we going to auction? Did we find out about auctioning off the?
Like an auction, a couple of items that we didn't.
I can't hear you.
We have a couple of items that did not actually get bid on during the telethon, so we're going to bid on them individually. By the day, today's auction, well, I say auction, but it's the person with the highest donation amount wins the item. And let me go over here and grab this. Now, it's item 624. It's the Disney Princess tea set. All right, so let me do this here.
My little granddaughter know that.
All right, let me merge back here. This is the Disney Princess tea set. It's got all kinds of cool stuff in there. Disney princesses, great for your little one. You can see it's got like all these cups and plates and bowls.
I bet that would be $30 or more at Disney.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
So the minimum donation to receive this would be $10, and the person who has donated the most, over $10, will receive the Disney Princess tea set. All Disney princesses on. So, all right, there you go. And that will be, you go online to axemediagroup.com. Hang on a second. I'm getting ready to pull it up.
I went ahead and started my watch party anyway.
axemediagroup.com. If you want to go right to the donation page, go to axemediagroup.com/please-donate. And then what you do is you put in how much you want to donate, whether it's $10 or $11 or $12. Put that in there, and then the next page after that will say like note,
right,
or memo, or I think it's note.
I heard note, but
note, yeah. But a way to put in what it's for and put Princess tea set.
Okay.
And then by 10 o'clock, the person who donated the most will receive the Disney Princess.
Now, are we going to announce that?
We'll probably announce it tomorrow.
Okay, good idea.
So if we can figure it out, and we might get a hold of that person on Facebook too and let them know one way or the other.
Good idea.
So back to you guys.
Thank you. And we are working on a sponsor for my show, but I'm really excited that Steamy Joe's come on board to sponsor the morning drive. They're very excited to finally meet you and Dr. Jim and Jay and the whole gang.
Steamy Joe Cafe, just off 76 Country Music Boulevard.
That's right.
It's going to be good. I can't wait to get there and try their omelet. Even though that's off menu.
They also have some of the most they got wraps and let's see, sandwiches, and their croissants are huge. Their croissant sandwiches. You ought to go over. You and Gail. I think Gail would really love that over there.
I want to try it. We love croissants and stuff.
Well, yeah, they've got great croissant sandwiches.
Chicken salad, like kind, or
yeah, chicken. I don't know if I didn't see tuna, but I know they got chicken salad.
Where is it?
It's on 76. You know where the Liberty Utilities building is on 76? It's just across the street from the Liberty Utilities, or next to the Branson Hotel, or there's the address right there at 224 West Main Street, and their phone number is 417-320-3046.
Also, it's in Old Branson, kind of.
No, it's right. It's just before downtown Branson.
Okay.
So it's down from the Wendy's and McDonald's. It's down the hill on the right-hand side, just before you get to Veterans Boulevard.
Okay.
Anyway, so thank you, Matt, for the info. They've got all kinds of. They got their biscuits and gravy are the best. Biscuits and gravy. They gave they've got their biscuits are just they taste differently. Anyway, I've got a great show for us because we're gonna do a part 2 with Randy Barr. Eventually, we'll get Gail on the show because I'm sure that.
You sweet talker, you'll get her. She says no, but
She knows me well enough to where if all I have to say is please, and she'll be here. Gail, love you. I'm sure you'll be just fine. We'd love to have. I've got a great lineup in July. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I've got great guests coming up in July. Educational, fun, informative, but yet there's. I got an educational segment. I've got comedies. So I've got a whole set just with a couple comedians, and it's going to be great from Branson. And speaking of Branson, time for a Branson update. Branson is wide awake. They're doing very well as far as traffic. I mean, there's a lot of traffic out there now. And just, 2 months ago, even a month ago, there was hardly anybody on the road.
Most of the shows are opening. I mean,
yeah, and now you can't hardly. Now you got to sit on 76 Boulevard and wait for the traffic, which is a good problem. I'll never complain about Branson traffic again. And but some of the shows have decided to wait till July to open up. A lot, and Soji Tabuchi, he's not opening up this year. So, folks, if you're thinking about finding out what shows to see, just look on explorebranson.com, and remember, you're required to wear a mask, and at Silver Dollar City, as well as get tickets online. I don't know when that's going to go back to what you would call normal, but right now it's tickets online, and you have to reserve your spot for. I think they're just being really careful because of everything going on, and this COVID-19, it's going up and down and up and down. And just as soon as, it's really weird, Brandy, just as soon as everything started opening up and things were starting to get relaxed, all of a sudden there's a spike in the COVID-19. So
I don't even like to talk about it. I see corruption. I always say seek the truth. Seek the truth. Jesus is the truth. Well, let's seek the truth here. There's all kinds of doctors coming on and not saying different things than other doctors, And,
yeah.
And now they're doing this checking. Well, people walking around have it, but they're not sick. So they might have had before, and it's almost like someone's trying to make it look worse than it is. And at least I hope it's that way.
Right, and there are some people that have COVID-19, but don't have it as bad as others that end up on a breathing machine, and then there's people that have it and they're done with it in 2 or 3 days or recovering, and then there are others that are lay up. And I think it's the age difference, the young kids, or it's the older folks, like in the nursing homes.
I don't know anymore because I don't trust what they tell me anymore. It seems like everything's false, but they did a study and it was like 1% of kids got it. I mean, kids are tough. Their immunes are pretty good.
Right.
So they do really well.
Right.
And most of the adults do okay, but if you got a bad lung, diabetes, you're away, like me, you might get it and you could die, I guess. But it's way overrated, I think. And one side seems to be pushing it. No, we got to do this. If you don't do it, we're going to have, the whole nation's going down. And then the other side says they're exaggerating, so I don't know. But at least they're opening up. We have to have a economy, or we'll have a depression. We'll be down.
Yeah, the economy. I was really kind of getting nervous there for a while with the economy, but the economy seems to be slowly, and I mean slowly backing up. If it wasn't for these riots going on and things like that, I think it's just getting out of control. But we know now our days are numbered, and Jesus is coming back real soon, folks. And that's one, you really, if you don't know him now, you need to get to know him.
When the preachers and prophets, they say the same thing, you start to wonder. Because they're all saying this is like a pre-runner or whatever. In other words, it's not, they don't think it's the real thing yet, but it's a precursor, pre-runner for it, and boy, it sure feels like it.
Yeah, the tribulation is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See, this is nothing compared to the real tribulation. This is Toyland. This is nothing. But I do want to say hi to a few people listening in or watching on Keith Bradford. Thank you for joining and looking in on me. And we used to be, Keith Bradford, his whole family used to be neighbors of mine long time ago. And I appreciate Keith jumping on. And then Angie Tubrid. Angie, how's Jerry doing? I know that you and I have already talked, but I'm just curious to know how he's holding up and how he's doing. And then Twyla Robinson, Bobbitt, thank you very much for joining me. And Steve, Bruno, buddy. I got to have you on the show here probably in July. I'm working on a couple dates right now. But Bruno, glad to see you on, or at least watching. And so, Angie, just get back in touch with me when you can. I appreciate it. And it's nice to see folks that are really trying to help out there in Branson, that are trying to help one another. I mean, they're out there, and they're relaxing. A lot of the restaurants are starting to relax and pull back and push back their restrictions in that, and it's nice to see that starting to relax a little bit. But I know I sound like I'm all over the place today. It's been a weekend, and by the way, there's one show in town that's a new show, but they're only lasting until July 23rd, and that's Peggy Lee and Jeff, Peggy Lee Brennan and Jeff. They've got a show called From Broadway to Hollywood to Branson.
Right.
And it's at the Hot Hits Theater. If you're well aware of Branson and know all the theaters, Hot Hits is in downtown Old Branson on Commercial Street, 206 West Commercial, and it's a fantastic high energy show. They've got a couple young ladies that I think that she taught in dance, and they're all fantastic.
I interviewed them last week, and folks, these people are been on Broadway for years, 10, 15 years, her and her husband, and she was a character on MASH, the TV hit sensation, and she's just got all kinds of things in her background. So we're talking about going to see some professionals, and they go through some of the Broadway hits and stuff. I mean, you can't beat that, and it's really good.
She's been through a lot. When I mean not in a bad way, but she's been one busy young lady is what I'm trying to say, and she and her husband really have such a servant's heart. They want to serve one another. They want to serve the community, and they certainly just they have become family to all of us here at X Ministry, and they just love everybody. And you just got to go say hi and tell them that the gang from Morning Drive and Brighter Living Live sent them, and I'm sure they'll be glad to see you.
She played Frenchie on The Grease, and Patrick Swayze on Broadway was Danny,
Well, Danny Zuko, yeah.
And I guess this is the way I am, and I shouldn't be, but I keep thinking anybody that's that famous, so to speak, or done all these things, well, they don't really want to, talk to you or do your show. It's the opposite. These people are loving, wonderful people. They'll talk to anybody, they're just wonderful. And they put on a good show. They deserve to get people to go down and see them.
Yeah, it's a small, intimate, it used to be a storefront years ago, and then what they did was they converted it, half of it being like a sitting room with a, oh man, I can't even think today. I guess I'm more out of it than I thought, but
yeah, it's a small room. It's you can get about 100 in there maybe.
Yeah.
But they don't want to go real close right now. I was a little worried about that. I thought, well, if a lot come, are they going to be able to get them in there?
I think there was about 40 people in there Saturday.
That was pretty full, wasn't it?
With 40 people spread out. They've got the chairs not in rows like they usually do. They got them like where Matt and Jordan sat. There were two in the center. There was two. Rachel and I sat behind them. and then there's like 3 or 4 chairs on each side, so they've got them separated on purpose like that for the safe distancing. But it's a really cool, intimate show, and you've got to go see it. And I'm going to have Peggy and Jeff come back on the show, and they're going to start their own show here pretty soon.
That's what I hear.
This
Yeah, and it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. What? Thursday,
Friday, and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 5 o'clock. So if you come down, it's in Old Branson, across from the Owens Theater.
And it's only
like
an
it.
80-minute show.
I like it because it's kind of intimate. I'm not in this huge. I mean, I don't mind the huge place, but it's kind of you feel like you're part of it. 'Cause
Yeah, it's up close and personal.
Yeah. And then they get up and start dancing, singing. They tell you to, you know.
Oh yeah, they
And
want to get the audience definitely involved.
And I'm thinking like, if Gail was here, she'd be embarrassed, you know. All that. Well, she wasn't there. I should have went nuts, you know.
Oh man, so Rachel, I guess I hope you're feeling better. I can say sweetie, honey, and all that stuff and get away with it. But no, I hope
you're better, sweetie.
No, wait a minute, Randy.
I can get away with it too. She is a sweetie. She calls me. What did she call me that day when you were over? She called me a nice name or whatever.
Yeah, she did, and now I can't remember it. Yeah, she has her own words for certain people. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, no, Rachel, I hope you're feeling better, and I'll be home hopefully soon. And there's Mr. Troy over there in the waiting room or in the green room as Troy and Belinda are back, and they'll be joining. That's right, they'll be joining us next on Sacred Ways. That's the name of the.
Can I recruit for us?
Did you what? No,
I
go
want
ahead.
to recruit. You know, everybody's doing a good job here. My show is Tuesday at 9, Spirit of America. His show is Monday morning. We're right here for. And you know, if you would like to share something on your heart or your testimony, something, that's what we want. Now, their shows are a little bit different, but mine very much like that. It's like I call it like the Christian Tonight Show. Somebody comes on. Whatever's on the person's heart, I let them share it. And all I have to do is direct them. And every week we get something different. Now tomorrow, a guy's coming that was in drugs and all that, and he got out. Jesus saved him, and he wants to share his testimony. Great, you know. But if there's anything like that you want, call over here or get a hold of us. I'm sure we'll put you on the list and get you on one of the shows. Especially mine, Spirit in America. No.
Now wait a minute. Are you plugging your show on my show?
Yes.
No, I'm really grateful for Randy. I've known Randy and Gail for a while, so I just appreciate their friendship, and we've become like family. And Gail just loves the tar out of Rachel, and so I don't know about Randy, but well, you did call her sweetie.
If you had to live with me all the time, you'd be a little bit off too.
No, well, Gail might laugh at that, but I won't. Terry Perkins, thank you for joining. I didn't mean to forget you. It's kind of hard trying to concentrate on the show and watch party. I wasn't going to do one, but I decided to do one. So, Randy, let's touch a little bit about I want to kind of finish where we started with you, and so take it away.
Where did we leave off?
I think you were in the middle of your testimony about Wisconsin. I think you were right there about ready to come back here permanently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just thought that I was pretty much done with anything to do with the show or anything. I didn't get it done. It didn't work. But I knew it was supposed to go because I had a vision of it when it came, so I knew that somebody was supposed to do it. So I said to Gail, we ought to go back to Branson because I'm more apt to get somebody there than here, you know. And it didn't work right away, and the Lord said, be patient and everything. I'll take care of it. And one day, Gail gets up, and she goes, let's start packing. I said, what? Start packing. We're going to Branson. Something happened, you know, in her spirit, and we put the house up for sale, and it sold the same day. It didn't even get put in the MLS. We
Well,
put it up,
I know what that means.
and it's sold the same day. And I couldn't help but think, I guess we're supposed to go. I think, you know.
Exactly.
So we had a child here and some small grandkids, and the other ones were getting older from where we lived, and we thought, well, it's kind of more important when they're small to help and everything anyway, and we came, and so I started. I was ordained with Acts, and they were real nice. They knew I hadn't been well, and they said, just do whatever you can. We don't care. We just would like to have you. And I was kind of looking for someone to do this and doing different things, doing this, writing these songs that I do. And I have a lot of old programs, and I wanted to try to work them in, and we still might. And Jim come up, he said, you know, we're getting going, and we need slots filled. He said, you want to, yours was great. You want to take one? And I said, well, just let me pray about it. And I prayed about it, and I kind of got like, be careful, you know, because I have this thing that acts up once in a while, and if you're not here, you're not here. You know, your show goes down. But he said, he gave me Jason. He said, you'll cover for you if you're not here. And I said, okay. I felt that was an open, so we started it, and we still do presentations, my wife and I, at different churches if they want us, and I still do some music, but this is kind of new. It's not new because we did it, but it's new for the last year or so, and I'm enjoying it. I'm glad the Lord let me do it.
Yeah, because the Lord really has blessed your ministry. Believe it or not, I mean, you still have those CDs that you've what do you call it? Parodies. They're not really parodies. They're what'd you call them?
Yeah, they're derivative of the original. I found that out when I started digging into the legal. It doesn't really matter much, derivatives or parodies. You still get proof to use the melody.
Right. You might still have the tune, but the melody is different and the lyrics are different, and so that's what you got to be careful of when you're dealing with songs like that. Just make sure I think if you change the words, obviously, but if you change the tune just enough,
yeah,
it's no longer considered a copyright.
That's what we got to look at, I think.
I mean,
On
if
the
there's
other
anybody out there that knows any different, please let me know, and then I can correct it.
And if you know how I can get a hold of the publisher easy, I mean, that's not easy. But the thing is, I think Billy Hale told me, most of the publishers, they're all old anyway, and most of the publishers won't care. They'll go, oh, let's say something nice about the lawyer, and we don't care. But if it happened to go and hit, they get their 7%, you know?
Right,
So,
right.
So he said that you might not have a lot of trouble. You just got to get to them.
It depends on the artist. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of contemporary Christian artists, they want their music out there, and if they're, but of course they've got to go by their agreement too.
And my whole thing is I want them to give a testimony as to why the song means something to them and everything. And that's a little different. In music, they usually just do song after song after song. And that's not what I'm getting in Paris, so I'm going to look for people that will do that or use my testimony and do it. You know, I don't care. But I want them to talk before the song because that's where we get the ministry.
Yep.
We've had people crying and they were going to commit suicide, now they're not and everything. But it didn't come from just the song. It came from the testimony and then the song.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing, folks. I'm going to be actually, I don't want to say use the word tour, but I am going to be going to some churches later on this spring or summer, early fall, because if the restrictions are up or down enough and they've relaxed the restrictions, I'm going to be going to some churches and presenting a drama that I did that I won the award with Country Gospel Music Association.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be giving my life testimony, which a lot of it was done right here on my show. And I'm going to be presenting that as my life story along with that. And then Rachel's going to sing. So she's been asked to sing one of Gary Paxton's songs. And so we'll go more into that later. I'm not going to get into it right now, but we want to make sure that be tight about it and make sure that everything's a go with that song before we actually announce it officially.
I saw Vicky Paxton the other day, and I asked her. I got Gary with an interview and 2 of his best songs, and I said, "You think I can play that?" Sure. And I don't have her number or anything, and I'm trying to get a hold of her, so we could pull that and play it too, and that was really good. From the first time I was here, around 2002. So in the future, folks, we're gonna have a lot of different things.
Yeah. If I'm going to try to do something here, if you would like to be on my show and you've got a testimony, you're an artist of some sort, whether it doesn't have to be music, but and you feel led to give your testimony and you might touch somebody's heart like mine. I didn't expect to have the draw that I did with my testimony, and it was outstanding. I'm not about numbers at all. I'm just here to bless people. So get a hold of me here. I'm not sure exactly. You can get a hold of me here at Axe and get a hold of me, and I'll be sure to get back in touch with you. I will give you my email. The email that I have right now is steve.mcallister, and that's all lowercase, at rocketmail.com. And get a hold of me and let me know, and I'll send you a message, and whether it's instant messaging or a phone call or whatever, and I'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, and what I do is I have a pre-interview. I learned over the years that it's worth it, and you usually meet and sit and talk and joke and have coffee or something, but you can do it over the phone. But I learned just a little bit about you and what you want to share, and we get on the same base. And then when we come, we just got a little bit of camaraderie.
Anyway, it's okay.
You don't want to. You want to come on my show? I can't even talk. No, but it works good because you have that, and you can get right in. The person shares what's on their heart, and you say, "Oh yeah, that's cool. You can share that." And I can tell Steve and all of you right now. I've been around a while, and there is nothing like someone telling you how they came to know the Lord personally. And because you got to either call them a liar or something, and you could tell by their countenance that they're telling the truth. So when we did the show years ago, and we did every week, we did that. I wanted the guests to share, and we're trying to do that again. And after a while, some people that stopped in, they got it. I think it's real, because you're being real and you're telling them about yourself. And so that's really good. If some of you are Christians and you've never had a lot of opportunity, we'd love to have you, Steve or me or any of us here.
I appreciate that, Randy. Yeah, so I've always wanted to do that, and pretty soon I'm going to actually have an address where I'm trying to think of the address here. You can write, I think it's 1736 West, no, I want to say Sunshine. It's either East or West Sunshine.
It's West, I think.
It's West.
No, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry, I don't know. Where's Matt? No.
Oh, Matt's not. Well, we'll get it before the end of the show. Anyway, and then Suite 216, I do know that.
Plaza Tower.
Plaza Towers is where I'm at. So if you're in the Springfield area and you know the area, then you know that we're on the second floor of the Plaza Towers, Suite 216. But some people always like to have the address so they can Google it, especially if they're from Branson.
Yeah, I'm so new, I don't know, but maybe Matt have a list or something of the emails of everybody, and so that it's easier for you to get it down, But we're learning, we're going, but we want to help you.
Yeah, we want to help any way we can, and same thing for prayer requests. If you've got a prayer request that you exclusively want done, then by all means get a hold of me. Hello there, Mr. Troy. Nice to see you. And it's nice to see them back and it looks like you got a tan.
I don't know how well I covered this, but I'll cover it again because it's so important. I grew up, I went to church every week. I won't say which one because I don't need to. But they didn't really personalize the gospel, and I was too dumb. I just thought, they're just trying to make us be good so we can't have any fun, or whatever. And what did I really think? I thought, well, I think there's a God. But I had it in my head like, well, if you do bad stuff, which I was doing, that's not good. You may not make it, you know. But if you do some good stuff then, and start to even that out a little bit, and by the time you die, you've done more good than bad, you'll make it, you know. How stupid. It doesn't say that anywhere or anything, and the Bible doesn't even come close to it. The Bible says you can't sin one sin. God is so holy that he can't have it. He can't have it. That's why Jesus was on the cross. He said, why did you forsake me? Because he did. He put all the sins on Jesus. He couldn't have it. So we can't have one sin. You know. So to think that if I'm, you know, kind of okay is a lie from the devil. And in my case, I guess it took. Had a suicide note and everything, and I just somehow I started thinking about things, and I ended up crying and repenting and telling the Lord I was sorry, and pretty much did the heart thing there. But it took quite a bit for me to be almost ready to take my life. But it doesn't have to be that way. You just have to understand, like in John 3:3. He's told this Nicodemus, you must be born again. Well, what do you mean born again? I mean, spiritually. I mean, and this Nicodemus, at that time, he knew all the Bible. He knew all the Old Testament. He knew everything. But yet he didn't have a clue. And Jesus is going, you don't even know? After all the prophets that have prophesied to me and everything, this guy didn't know. You have to be born again. You have to want Jesus to run your life, be in it. And you ask him. And you repent, and that's when things change.
Amen.
And I, in my case, it's not always like this, but I never had another drink. My wife said she just couldn't believe it that I started to read the Bible and all this, and that's just what happened to me. Sometimes it goes slower than that, and you got to work into it, but. You just need to ask the Lord in your heart. And with these times coming like this is scaring some of you people. I don't blame you. This virus, and they're talking about more and this and that. The Lord is behind everything. He wants you to come to him. He don't want you to die and not make it. So if you're kind of scared and you're wondering, you say it must be something to do with the entire something. Get on your knees. Ask the Lord in your heart. Or get with a friend that knows or a pastor. There's going to be more of this, and I think, and he wants you to come to him before the end so that you'll come to heaven.
Exactly. You know, there are many people out there that are hurting, and if you're hurting, just, you know, and you are a Christian, but you're still hurting, you know the Lord's right there with his arms open wide, just waiting for you to come to him and just say, and cry out to him and say, just Father God, please help me in this time of need, Lord. You know, and he already knows the answer. He already knows what's going to be ahead of more than you do, obviously. So just trust him and put your faith in him. And if you don't know him today, do that, and God will just ask Jesus into your heart, and he'll be the Lord of your life, and he'll be there every step of the way. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. Isn't that right?
Amen. And you know, if you seek and you'll find, knock and the door will be open. Seek earnestly with your heart. God's going to draw you. He says so in his word. And he is the truth, Jesus. So if you start looking that way and getting information and even going on the line and asking questions, you got to watch it, though. Make sure it's a good Bible source preacher that's talking to you or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he's going to. And I'll just say this. In fact, if you want this, I'll send it to you. I'll buy it myself. It's called More Than a Carpenter. More Than a Carpenter. It's just a thin little book. Josh McDowell, who's a genius, he didn't like Christianity. He thought it was foolish. He went to prove it wrong. And he had the money. And he went all over to interview and look at signs and archaeology and all that. It drew him right in. He's a Christian. But he wrote all this stuff down, why he thinks that. And it's all facts and things, you know. If you wanted something like that, boy, More Than a Carpenter is the one you want to want to read. I was a Christian when I read it. When I got done, I was as solid as a rock.
Morning, Johnny Rooster. Hey, Johnny Cocroft, thank you for joining. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in person. And we need to get together because I owe you some money for your crosses. And so we'll talk about that later. Maybe you can come back on my show and reintroduce your ministry and introduce the crosses that you have for people's yards. That would be great. So Johnny, just get with me. You know how to get a hold of me now. So, well, so far it's been a great show, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you once again, Randy, for being here. I appreciate it. And
I love it.
and thank you at the last minute for picking me up. I'm going to be.
I just overslept.
Yeah. Well, I was a little nervous when I didn't see you out there. Usually you're out there waiting, and I'm like, uh-oh, he overslept. I know he did. But you know what? The Lord worked it all out. I'm here, got here on time. And
If I ever do it again, you call me.
oh,
Just in case, be safe.
I will, believe me.
Because I put the phone in bed with me, but then I had the alarm, I thought, set. Yeah, right.
Well, hey, I've done that. In fact, I've done it. Thought I had the alarm set, and I woke up, and it was 20 minutes to 7. I'm like, uh-oh. And, of course, when Rachel used to get up and have to be up at 6:30, they blessed her with her getting there at 8 o'clock at the earliest now. And she's been going in at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and now lately she's been going in at 8, which is a good thing. So, folks, just keep me in your prayers. I'm still going through some health issues I didn't plan on related to the last surgical surgery that I had. Just continue to keep me in your prayers. It looks like I'll be going back every, I think, few months or something for them to check me to see if anything's reappeared, like the cancer growth, and I hope not. But the Lord knows all. He's been taking care of me for a while now. So, and I noticed I forgot my cushion. I have a cushion now that I have to sit on, and I have it, but I forgot to put it on my seat here.
Oh.
But I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So just continue to pray for me and my family and a big shout out. I don't know if Jackson and Tilly are watching, but they're our fur babies. They get excited when they hear their name on the phone, or they get excited and they start wagging he wags his tail. Tilly's like, huh?
Yeah.
So
Can I say? I just thought of it. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, the Spirit in America is on ours, and I have a gentleman named John, and he's been through drugs and drinking, Alcoholics Anonymous, and all that. He's going to share everything that happened and how he's totally changed from that sort of a thing. And that's a powerful thing too, when you see people that are really out of it, and then and we see it in jails. People come out of jail sometimes in their turn and all that. That's the power of the Lord right there.
oh yeah.
So
And
we'll have him on tomorrow.
yeah, so he was in drugs and alcohol, and now did he go through
He did go through AA. He knows that Jesus is, the top, the higher power or whatever. But he did go through it, and then by some of the things they do and the steps and all that, they're good. And he used that along with knowing Jesus was a higher power, and he's out. He's been out quite a while. He's doing great.
Yeah, I'm going to have guests coming up in the next couple of months that celebrate recovery. That is such a phenomenal ministry. I mean, they have a 12-step program. My brother went through. The reason I can say that is my brother went through that. I didn't even know he did till after he was just about gone. His wife told me, "Yeah, we know all about Celebrate Recovery." I'm like, "Really?" Well, yeah, we've been through it. And I was like, "Really?" So, just continue to pray for those that really that are going through that program. I don't know anybody personally right now that's going through it, but I'm going to have some people on that will be able to talk more about the ministry and what they do and how they do it?
I'm feeling led to tell a testimony.
Go ahead.
It's not a personal, but the reason is it's on miracles. And I personally sit here sometimes and think, I know there's miracles. Especially overseas in Africa, you see it and everything, and you get letters back from Campus Crusade for Christ and stuff, and the arm got healed, and one guy even got raised from the dead, and I believe it because I don't think they're lying to us. Well, how come we don't get more here? You know, and of course you see the kind of the fake ones sometimes that people go out there and then you hear about it's just a gimmick. Well, I think I kind of know. When let's see, I was 42 or something. My middle son got out of high school, and everybody liked him. He was real humble and quiet, about 190 pounds, halfback, and he started losing weight and having all kinds of trouble with his innards and colon, you know, and things like that. We kept taking him to the doctor, and he kept losing weight, and he would be huffing all the time. I said, "What's that?" I took him in. Oh, he's got a little pneumonia and and all that. Just totally wrong. They did diagnose. Well, he got worse and worse. And one day he was, and his pulse was 260. And I thought, what's going on? I took him I took him up to Hudson, and he took a chest X-ray. The doctor and Lida, and he goes, "Well, his chest looks good." I said, "Doc, look at him. He's gray. What's wrong?" And he goes, "Yeah, I know." And he got looking at the X-ray some more. He thought he saw a pulmonary embolism which is almost impossible on a chest X-ray, but between the cavities. So he called United Hospital up in the Twin Cities. We lived near the Twin Cities, and they said, "Get him up here." And they said, "Don't give him any Lidex, which is a blood thinner. Don't give him any. It could kill him." And Lida, inside, he just knew he had to give him some or he'd die. That's what he told me later. He could have got sued. I wouldn't sue him, but he gave him some of this Lidex. And when we got up to the hospital in the ambulance, the doctor said if he wouldn't have done that, he would have died. They didn't
Wow.
know, they didn't know what was happening. It was happening so fast. Well, then they put him off on the side, and they got stuff all hanged up. Here he had 4 or 5 pulmonary emblems that went through his heart.
Wow.
And that's what was, when he was puffing like that, that's what happened. And they were hanging, and more was coming from his leg. And the doctor got me and Gail, she said, "He's not going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it through the night. You better get prepared." And, and of course, we're feeling bad. And we called the church, and they all came and were praying. And you know, the fact is, it rains on the good and it rains on the bad. Sunshine. Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you're not going to ever have anybody die or anything. It's just, but you got it good because you know the Lord and you're going to heaven. That's the big thing. But life is life, and sin will kill you sometimes more than not. And people were coming up and saying, "Why would this happen to you?" Because we were missionaries. "Why would this happen to you?" They don't understand. A lot of things have happened to Christians, you know.
A lot of things happen to missionaries that some they're not allowed to talk about, and some that they do, they just don't go into all the details.
Well, and it's not an issue. Things happen, and we don't know why all the time, but we got to keep going with God. Well, everybody was talking to us, and we had a prayer chains going, and I heard that the prayer chain, one of them went to Bolivia, and, you know, they went nuts. And I found out later that the whole town, the little town, River Falls, was praying. And in school, they weren't supposed to pray. They stopped, got on their knees, the whole school, and the teachers got on their knees. So you see, God was doing a big thing here by working with this, and everybody was praying. And it ended up that at the end of the night, they said we could try this one thing, but it probably might kill him, but he was going to die anyway, you know, if you don't. And Gail and I prayed, and we said, "Sign it, you know, the Lord can use it or whatever." And he ended up getting rid of that. He got totally okay, and they said he'll never be the same. He's going to have his colon out and all this. None of that. Everything was healed after that. And when I got home, I thought, Lord, you don't have to tell me, but I'm curious as to why did this thing happen this way? Why didn't you heal him in the basement? We'll go through. I felt he said because nobody would have believed it. In America, here we got everything, and nobody's worried about anything, and they just said, "Oh, he's a strong boy. He just got better, or whatever." Now they'll believe it because he went through the medical, and they said he was going to die and everything, and he didn't.
Right.
So they considered it a miracle. And I thought about that, and I thought, yeah, I can see why, if he wanted to make people think or whatever, that he would do it that way. It was kind of hard on us, but
Yeah, it's all, because you're a human and we're here on Earth, we're going to have that tendency to worry, and we shouldn't, but we do because we're human. By the way, good morning, Susan. Thanks for joining, Susan Burrows. I'm hoping to come down and see you, Rachel and I, are here real soon, I hope. And but thank you for joining. And we've got, let's see, I haven't heard from a lot of, oh, there's Jana. Well, hello, Jana. Thanks for tuning in. I know that it's running late, but you know what? We're just glad that you're here. That's the important thing. And there's Matthew. Hey, Matt.
I'm just being on, right?
I guess.
I can be weird if I want, right?
Yes, you're allowed to. You're the top dude here at the station.
Second only to Jesus, right?
Amen. Amen.
Jesus is the top dude everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm praying for some money to come in and we'll get him full time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that would be so
would be
cool.
awesome.
And speaking of that, we need to, get as many people to donate for the Disney tea set that we have.
Disney tea set. Yep.
And so I think you've already shown it once. And for those of you who want to donate, there's a donate button that you can tap on. You don't have to have PayPal. Is that correct, Matt?
Huh? No,
That-
you don't have to have PayPal.
Okay. You can
Takes
just
credit cards, PayPal, and then you just put how much you want to donate. The next minimum of $10.
right.
And
then on the
tea set.
there's another
Donate however much you want.
right, and then there's another spot where it says note. Just tell us that you want the Disney tea set, or put on their Disney tea set, and then what you want to donate.
So you put the donate amount first,
Right, and then the note.
and then it'll take you to the next page. There'll be a note portion where you just put in Disney princess, or just princess tea set, or just tea set,
Right.
and whoever has the highest donation by
In the next
10
9
o'clock,
minutes.
the next 9 minutes, we'll receive it.
Yeah. Now there's going to be other items, by the way, that we'll be auctioning, or we'll be
Yeah,
talking
we're gonna be
about.
auctioning one item each day. If this one doesn't go today, we might re-auction it at the end
Yeah,
to see, because someone else might be watching that might decide they want it. So
that's true. We don't want to. We want this tea set to go to the person that I think the Lord will really want them to have it. But no, we've got just a few more minutes on that. So please donate, and you know what? Share.
ActMediaGroup.com.
Yeah, and share and like these videos, whether it's my program, whether it's anybody on this network. We'd love to have you share and like any of these videos. And it's really important so that we can continue to minister the gospel, whether it's a talk show, whether it's a music show, whatever. We'd just like to have you join us. We really appreciate it.
And we established something 10 years, 15 years ago, the Spirit of America Hour. People like to be natural. They like it the way Matt jokes and this and that. Who doesn't, So we don't come on here with our little organ music and do it. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that's not what we do. We come on. It's like a reality. In fact, I feel our show was the first reality show back then because nobody had them. But we come on. We're real. We'll talk to you. We want to talk to you. We'll joke sometimes. We'll get serious sometimes. That's what you're going to get here. Now, I can't speak for all the shows, but I've seen enough of them where they're all kind of like that. And ours is totally, because that's how the Lord designed it.
Each show has their own character trait.
Yeah.
We are out of time.
And thank you very much. And I was just about to sign off anyway.
Good.
But thank you for reminding me.
Yep.
So,
Thanks for having
folks,
me.
What?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, Randy, thanks for joining me again for part 2. All right. Well, folks, thank you very much for joining me, Steve O'Mickey Mac. And I'll be on again next week with another guest. And hope to see you real soon. Have a brighter day. God bless.